Good evening all, and welcome to this corner of internet. This is Ada here, the voice and the guide that will take you to tonight's journey. Tonight I'm going to read until you're fully dozed off the 2 chapters of The Wizard of Oz. However, this is a retold version by Rosemary Border. This is a story about a little girl called Dorothy who wanted so desperately to go home, but she didn't know the way. Then the Witch of the North advised her to go to the Emerald City and ask the Wizard of Oz for help. If there isn't anything left to be done, lie down and relax. The Wizard of Oz. The Cyclone. Dorothy lived in a small house in Kansas with Uncle Henry, Aunt Em, and a little black dog called Toto. There were no trees and no hills in Kansas, and it was often very windy. Sometimes the wind came very fast and very suddenly. That was a cyclone, and it could blow trees and people and buildings away. There were cellars under all the houses, and when a cyclone came, people went down into their cellars and stayed there. One day Uncle Henry came out and looked up at the sky. Then he ran quickly back into the house. "There's a cyclone coming," he called to Aunt Em and Dorothy. "We must go down into the cellar." They ran to the door of the cellar, but Toto was afraid, and he ran under the bed. Dorothy ran after him. "Quick!" shouted Aunt Em from the cellar. "Leave the dog and come down into the cellar." Dorothy picked up Toto and ran to the cellar door, but before she got there, the cyclone hit the house. And then a very strange thing happened. The house moved, and then it went slowly up into the sky. Aunt Em and Uncle Henry were down in the cellar under the ground, but the house, Dorothy and Toto, went up to the top of the cyclone. Dorothy looked through the open cellar door and saw hills and houses a long way down. She closed the cellar door quickly. The wind blew the house along for many hours. At first Dorothy was afraid. "But we can't do anything about it," she said to Toto. "So let's wait and see." And after 2 or 3 hours, she and Toto went to sleep. When Dorothy opened her eyes again, the house was on the ground and everything was quiet. She picked up Toto, opened the door, and went out. They saw tall trees and beautiful flowers and little houses with blue doors. Then Dorothy gave a little cry. "This isn't Kansas, Toto. And who are these people?" There were 3 very short men in blue hats, coats and trousers, and a little old woman in a beautiful white dress. The woman walked up to Dorothy and said, "Thank you, thank you, now the people are free." "Why are you thanking me?" Dorothy asked. "You killed the Witch of the East," said the woman. She was a bad witch, and her people, the Munchkins, were very afraid of her. Now she is dead, and we and the Munchkins want to thank you." The little old woman and the three little men all smiled happily at Dorothy, but Dorothy did not understand. "But I didn't kill anybody," she said. "Your house fell on the witch," laughed the little woman. "Look, you can see her feet." Dorothy looked and saw 2 feet with red shoes under the house. Then suddenly one of the Munchkins gave a shout. "Look, her feet are disappearing in the hot sun." A second later, there were only the red shoes. "Good," said the little woman. She picked up the shoes and gave them to Dorothy. "They are your shoes now. You must wear them, because a witch's shoes can sometimes do wonderful things." "Thank you," said Dorothy. "But who are you? Are you a Munchkin?" "No, but I am their friend. I am the Witch of the North, and I came to see the dead Witch of the East. But don't be afraid. I am a good witch." "But Aunt Em says there aren't any witches." "Oh yes, there are," said the witch. "Here in the country of Oz, we have 4 witches. The witches of the North and the South are good witches, but those of the East and West are bad witches. Now the witch of the East is dead, so there is only one bad witch. We have a famous wizard too. We call him the Wizard of Oz, and he lives in the Emerald City. How many witches and wizards do you have in your country?" "We don't have any," said Dorothy. Suddenly she remembered Aunt Em and Uncle Henry. "How can I get back home to Kansas?" she asked. "Oh, where is Kansas?" asked the good witch. "I do not know any country called Kansas, so I can't tell you the way." Dorothy began to cry. "Oh dear, what can I do? Please, don't cry," said the witch. "Go and see the Wizard of Oz. He is a good wizard, and perhaps he can help you. It's a long way, and you must walk there. I can't go with you, but I can give you my kiss." She gave Dorothy a little kiss. It looked like a small red flower on Dorothy's face. "Now nothing can hurt you," she said. "Look, there is the road to the Emerald City. It is made of yellow bricks, so you cannot lose your way. Goodbye, goodbye," said the 3 little Munchkins. In the house, Dorothy found some bread and some apples, and she put them all in a bag. Then she put on her blue and white dress. "Now I look nice," she said. She looked down at her old shoes. Then she remembered the bad witch's red shoes and put them on. She picked up her bag of food. "Come on, Toto," she called. "We're going to find the Wizard of Oz." Chapter 2. The yellow brick road. Dorothy and Toto walked along the yellow brick road for a long time. When they were tired, they stopped in a field by the road. Not far away there was a scarecrow, and Dorothy and Toto walked across to look at it. "Good day," said the scarecrow. "Oh, wow," said Dorothy. "You can speak." "Of course I can speak," said the scarecrow. "But I can't move up here on this pole. I'd like to get down. Can you help me?" Carefully, Dorothy took the scarecrow off his pole. "Thank you very much," said the scarecrow. He moved his arms and legs, and straw went everywhere. "Who are you?" he asked. "And where are you going?" "I am Dorothy, and I'm going to the Emerald City. I want to go home to Kansas, but I don't know the way. I'm going to ask the Wizard of Oz for help." "Where is the Emerald City?" asked the scarecrow. "And who is the Wizard of Oz?" "I don't know anything, you see, because I have no brains in my head, only straw." "Oh dear," said Dorothy. "I am very sorry. I would very much like to have some brains," the scarecrow said. "Can I go to the Emerald City with you? Perhaps the Wizard of Oz can give me some brains. What do you think?" "I don't know," said Dorothy. "But yes, please come with me. He's a famous wizard, so perhaps he can help you." She felt very sorry for the scarecrow. "Don't be afraid of Toto," she said. "He never hurts people." "Nothing can hurt me," said the scarecrow. "I am not afraid of anything." "Well, that's not entirely true. I am afraid of fire, of course." Dorothy walked along the road with her new friend. Soon she began to feel hungry, so she sat down and she and Toto ate some bread and apples. "Would you like some, Scarecrow?" said Dorothy. "No, thank you," said the Scarecrow. "I don't need to eat or drink. You can't eat when you're made of straw. Now tell me about your home." So Dorothy told him about Kansas and Uncle Henry and Aunt Em and the cyclone. "But what do you want to leave this beautiful country?" asked the Scarecrow. "Kansas, you say, has no trees, no green hills, no gardens. I don't understand." "That's because you have no brains," said Dorothy. "Kansas is my home. We say, east, west, home's best. And it's true. I really want to go home." They walked along the road for some hours, and then it got dark. Dorothy was tired, and soon the Scarecrow saw a little house behind some trees. There was nobody there, so they went in. Dorothy and Toto slept, but the Scarecrow just stood all night with his eyes open. "Scarecrows don't sleep," he said. In the morning, Dorothy looked for water. "Why do you want water?" asked the Scarecrow. "Toto and I are thirsty, and I need to wash." "I'm sorry for you," said the Scarecrow. "You need a lot of things, but you have brains, and you can think, and that's wonderful." They found some water and Dorothy washed. Then she and Toto ate some bread. Suddenly, they heard a shout from the trees near the house, and they all ran out of the house to look. They saw a man by a big tree, with an axe in his hand. He was made of tin. He stood very still and shouted help again and again. "What can I do for you?" asked Dorothy. "I can't move," said the Tin Man. "Please oil me. There's an oil can in my house." At once Dorothy ran back to the house and found the oil can. Then she came back, and with the Scarecrow's help, she carefully oiled the Tin Man. Slowly he began to move, first his head and then his arms and legs. "Thank you," he said. "I feel better now." He put down his axe. "I went out in the rain, you see, and water is very bad for a tin body. I was there for a long time, and nobody came to help me." "We stopped at your house for the night," Dorothy said, "and we heard your shout this morning." "Where are you going?" asked the Tin Man. So Dorothy told him about the Wizard of Oz. "I want to go back to Kansas, and the Scarecrow wants some brains," she said. The Tin Man was very interested. "Can the wizard give me a heart, do you think? I have no heart, so I can't love or feel. I'd very much like to have a heart." "Come with us," said the Scarecrow. "Yes," said Dorothy, "and then you can ask the wizard for help too." So they all walked along the yellow brick road. There were many tall trees next to the road, and sometimes the three friends heard noises from animals behind the trees. Dorothy did not like these noises very much. "How far is it to the Emerald City?" she asked the Tin Man. "Do you know?" "It's a long way, I think," said the Tin Man. "And we must be careful because—" But then just a big lion suddenly ran out from the trees into the road. It opened its mouth. It had long yellow teeth and began to run after Toto. Dorothy was afraid for Toto. She ran up to the lion and hit it on the nose with her bag. "Don't hurt my dog," she cried angrily. "He's smaller than you." "I didn't hurt him," said the lion. "Don't hit me again, please." "Why, you're afraid," said Dorothy. "Be quiet, Toto. He isn't going to hurt you. He's more afraid than you are. He's just a big coward." "It's true," said the lion. "I'm a coward. Everyone thinks lions are brave. I make a lot of noises, but I am not brave. I am just a coward." And the cowardly lion began to cry. Then Dorothy told him about the Wizard of Oz. "Come with us to the Emerald City," she said. "I want to go back to Kansas. The Scarecrow wants some brains, and the Tin Man wants a heart. Perhaps the Wizard of Oz can make you brave." "Oh, thank you," said the lion. "I'd very much like to be brave." And so the cowardly lion came with them. At first Toto was afraid of him, But very soon he and the lion were good friends. That night Dorothy and Toto slept under a big tree next to the Cowardly Lion's big warm body. In the morning, they ate the last of their bread. "Oh dear," said Dorothy, "what are we going to eat for dinner?" "I can kill an animal for you," said the Cowardly Lion. "Oh no, please don't kill anything," the Tin Man said. He began to cry. "We don't want to hurt any animals. I haven't got a heart yet, but I feel sorry for them." Dorothy quickly got out the oil can and oiled his face. "Don't cry," she said. "You know water is bad for you." They walked along the yellow road, and after an hour or two, they came to a big river. "Oh no," said Dorothy, "how can we get across?" The lion looked down at the river. "I'm very afraid of falling," he said, "but I think I can jump across." "Good," said the Scarecrow at once. "You can carry us on your back, one at a time." So the Cowardly Lion jumped across the river, first with the Scarecrow on his back, then with Dorothy and Toto, and last with the Tin Man. But soon they came to a second river. This one was very big, and the lion could not jump across it. The Scarecrow thought for a minute. "Look," he said, "there's a tall tree next to the river. The Tin Man can cut it down with his axe, and when the tree falls across the river, we can walk across the tree." "Very good," said the lion, "for somebody with straw in their head and not brains." So the Tin Man cut down the tree with his axe, and soon they were all across that river too.